worked out. Welcome to Scented Pages. Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel, baby. I'm outside in my little hammock today. This is cute. I was wondering how my little setup, if it was gonna be high enough and if everything was gonna work, and it did work out nice. Oh, that's nice. So I want to come on and talk about the book Baby Teeth, but the scent that I have, I just got a package. Something fun came in the mail, and I wanted to get my first reaction to it in my video. So it leave it to Baltimore, honey. Peach watermelon ever fresh, delicious. But I got Juicy Couture Viva la Juicy Noir. Let's see. I am so excited. I didn't look up the notes. Well, I looked them up when I was looking up whether or not I wanted to get it, but I don't remember what they are now. But when I was looking at reviews and stuff on YouTube, it seems like it smells good. It seems like something that I'm going, ooh, the bottle is beautiful though. Look at that. Oh, with the little bow on it. Oh my God. Now, usually, Juicy Couture bottles are pretty, are beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at my hair. My hair is all over my head. I took it out. I have to redo it. Please excuse my little bush. But anyway, sometimes these bottles can be like really big and gaudy and kind of just a whole lot. And sometimes they don't really go well with the flow of like wherever it might be set up. Like some of my other Juicy Couture bottles, I have to sit them in a space on their own because they are so much, and they don't usually go with the other perfume bottles in my collection that's like on my dresser. And but this is beautiful. I don't feel that way about this one. The one that I gave away, I think it was the one for Couture, I gave it to my mother. That bottle was a whole lot, and it was just so big and bulky, and I gave it to her, not because I didn't like the scent. The scent smelled really good, but the bottle was just too much, and I didn't feel like being bothered with it. But I wanted to, when I was looking up the notes for the Noir, it seemed like something that I wanted to smell. Okay, so I have something on the back of my hand. What I have on the back of my hand, I got a Elizabeth Arden scent, and I'm kind of irritated because I don't really care for it. And even though it wasn't expensive, it was cheap still. Now I gotta find again someone to give it to. That's the one that I really don't care for. I don't care for it. I got it. It's called it's one of the green tea lines. So because I like the original green tea by Elizabeth Arden so much, I was thinking that I would like this flanker that has a lemon note in it. It's called chiffon. It's called green tea chiffon freesia. I might just have to take it to the thrift store because it's not giving what I want it to be giving. So anyway, let's get into this. I'm in love. I am in love. Oh my God, it's so sweet, but not in a young kind of sweet way, because sometimes like sweet scents can give young and kind of immature sometimes. but they're also really fun. I love sweet scents. But this is grown and sexy sweet. I'm some, mm, I'm definitely getting like fruity notes, something creamy. Oh my God. Let me see what this has in it because I am so curious. I love this bottle. I can't wait. Now this, I can't wait to put on my dresser. This is beautiful. But let me see what these notes are. Mmm. Okay, so it's Viva La Juicy Noir by Juicy Couture. Its main accords are fruity, white floral. I knew it was going to be fruity. White floral, woody, caramel. Oh yeah, vanilla, sweet, citrus, powdery, and amber. Definitely getting that, that caramel and vanilla. I knew something smelled creamy. Oh my goodness. So let's see. It was launched in 2013. Its top notes are wild berries and mandarin orange. Okay. Wild berries. That's that fruity note. Yeah, definitely getting that. Middle notes are gardenia, honeysuckle, and jasmine. And then the base notes are caramel, vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. Oh, let me get me another spritz of this on my other wrist because this is just amazing. This smells so good. Okay. So, now that we got that out of the way, that was fun. I want to talk about baby teeth because what did I just get done reading? What did I read? It was good, but WTF, it was a whole lot going on with that little girl. I have so many notes, but it was a good book. So that's what, prompted me to take so many notes. Some people had some issues with some of the things in it, in the book, but overall, let me see. I think overall, I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And I'm only taking off a half a star because some of the stuff that the little girl was doing in the book was a little unbelievable for a 7-year-old. Like, she's 7. And she was doing a whole lot. And I'm not saying that, there aren't intelligent and advanced 7-year-olds, especially when, there's something really wrong going on. They might excel in other areas or different areas of their life, but some of it was a bit stretched and kind of hard to believe. Maybe if she was like 10, 11, okay, but 7, let's get into it. So it's by, I think her name is pronounced Zoje Stage. It's spelled Zoje, but I think it's pronounced Zoje Stage. It was a fast-paced domestic thriller about a tumultuous relationship between Suzette and her daughter Hannah. And Hannah is mute, and she hates her mother. Like I can't even, hate isn't even the good word. I should say loathe. She really can't. She despises her mother. Well, she absolutely adores her father, Alex. So this little girl, she's 7, like I said, she's living with her mother and her father, Suzette and Alex. And her dad, on the other hand, unlike her mother, is her favorite person in the world. Like, he can do no wrong. While her mother, complete opposite. She just can't stand her. And it's weird. It was like a weird kind of tug of war that she had going on with her mother for her father's affections and attention. It wasn't weird in like a weird way. It wasn't weird like that, but it was weird like she still needs to mind her place as a child. She felt like she deserved all of her father's attention and affection, and that her mother should just get none. And honestly, that's like, what in the world? So, I was curious because there are a lot of like real life cases of people who have odd relationships with their parents. Um, I have a friend of mine who says that her mother um, hated her because when she was born, she felt like she took away her father's attention from her, and I just feel like that's a whole lot. Like that's. But anyway, in this case, it wasn't like that. It was the daughter wanting all of her father's attention and love and everything, and really having it out for her dad. And I'm kind of interested in the psychology behind those kind of broken parental relationships. And the author of the book, Zoe, she did a really good job of leaving subtle clues throughout the book about like Hannah and her mental condition and why she is the way that she is. I was hoping that she would give a definitive answer as to why Hannah's behavior and why she hates her mother so much, but she didn't. Um, it didn't really give a real reason behind, Hannah's little villain origin story. Um, the book, let me see. Oh, it does suggest, however, the book does suggest far as reasoning behind why she hated her mother so much and her psychosis, like she was just freaking crazy. As a combination of like genetic and environmental factors. And one of the things that what happened in the book, Hannah retells a story it was like a core memory of hers that she had, and it changed her view of her mother. And I think that was a big part of the reason why she hated her mother so much. So what happened was, and it's not funny. Hold on, let me take a drink because I don't want to laugh. Wait a minute. So when Hannah was 3, now mind you, this little girl has always been bad, always been mean, always given her mother problems. Her father, not at all. But her mother, she'd be having her foot on her neck. So when she was 3 years old, she was eating some food that her mother had given her, and she spat it out of her mouth back into her mother's face. Like, just that alone. But it gets worse, okay? As a reaction, just a gut reaction to something that horrendous and disrespectful happening, her mother took the glob of food back off of her face and shoved it back into Hannah's mouth and was making her re-swallow it. That is terrible. But she stopped because it was making Hannah choke and she couldn't breathe because she closed her mouth so she would have to swallow it, re-swallow it. And so when she, let go, but she realized what she was doing, and she saw how Hannah was struggling to breathe, and she let her go. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But that stuck with Hannah. But my whole thing is, after you started it, like, what was her mother supposed to do? Just keep being a punching bag? Just keep letting her just be the worst and most disrespectful child? And just never have a human reaction, even though that was a whole lot. So, but that was the event that kind of really turned her opinion of Suzette to the negative, and she really, really was trying to like kill her. So let me see. So, I was also thinking, even though the author didn't give a solid reason as to why Hannah was the way that she was, that was a defining moment for Hannah. But also, a lot of times, even in real life, there isn't really an explanation or reason of how stuff starts with psychosis and how stuff starts with hate and evil and why a person is the way that they are from birth and why they might just have a real disdain for a parent or a child. There usually isn't, that I can think of, like a concrete where that comes from, a concrete reason as to where that comes from. So I like that the author kind of um, left that, deliberately leaves that out, um, leaves out Hannah's, motivations and her, no, her real problem. And lately, I'm glad that she left a little bit of mystery around it because, like I said, in real life, there usually is a lot of mystery around psychosis and evil and whatnot. The ambiguity, I felt like, of her evil, I felt like it added to the book's thought-provoking nature, and it made me curious and wonder about the complexities of human behavior and the mind. um, I feel like it's so interesting. Like I said, even in real life, there's not always a simple answer as to how someone, develops psycho traits, but just the fact that the book was a good um, discussion catalyst for mental illness in children and in how to recognize it and stuff, was good. I like that about the book. So now what I was saying about why I took off a star, a half star, was I said she was 7 and she was surprisingly intelligent, and sneaky. Was a little bit unbelievable, just a little bit. She went online and researched about this 17th century witch named Marie Anne Dufosset and pretended like she was possessed by this lady just to get under her mother's skin. So, like, for a good portion of the book, you're kind of wondering, is there like some sort of other uh, force behind why she's acting the way that she is? I thought that the child had like multiple personality disorder or something. Because she would really begin to act like this Marie Dufosset lady. Now, mind you, Hannah is mute, right? But when she was in this Marie trance type person or whatever, she was a whole different little girl. And she would speak in this like perfect French accent. Perfect French accent. But she was just doing it just to F with her mother. Terrible. That was one thing she was doing. Let me see. She cut her mother's hair while she was asleep. And then when that happened, two things. The first thing was when she cut her mother's hair in her sleep, Suzette's reaction was, "Oh, I wonder how Alex is going to feel about my short hair. Oh, I wonder if Alex will like it. Oh, Alex, Alex, what does he think? Oh my God." And then when she did tell Alex, his reaction was even worse than her own reaction to herself being scalped by her kid. He said, "Oh, Hannah, you did such a good job of making mommy look pretty." He should have really put his foot down and like discipline that child. That is disgusting, to cut someone's hair without their permission. Honey, she was tampering with her mother's so Suzette, the mother in this book, has Crohn's disease, and I like the representation, of someone who is not in perfect health. I liked how, because I've heard of Crohn's disease, but I didn't know really what it was really like to have a disease like that. Of course not, because I don't have it, but I hear, I've heard about certain symptoms with the bathroom and how sensitive people's stomachs are, but this book was really eye-opening. And it's a dreadful disease. Like, it seemed pretty tough. So I liked learning about that. That was good. So she was messing with her mother's Crohn's disease medication, um, tampering with that, making her even more sick. And then Alex was still in just such denial about everything. Like I said, his reaction about her hair when she in school, she made this little boy. So she went to like a special needs school. Of course she hated it, whatever, but she went to a special needs school, of course. And she was left alone for a minute by her teacher with this kid who wore a helmet. And she, of course, took the helmet off and started barking at the little boy. She started barking at him, and of course that made him panic, and he started slamming his head up against the wall and hurt himself really bad. That is so evil. And her father was still like, well, why were they left alone? Well, what was y'all doing? Well, it wasn't Hannah. Well, you can't. Like, are you serious, sir? He wouldn't believe nothing other than she's just this perfect angel, and it was annoying. I gave her ass up for adoption. Or, I don't know, dropped off at a firehouse somewhere real far away, like a little stray dog or something. I don't know. I had to do something with her, because the father isn't believing you. The only time Alex finally came around to believing how terrible that child was when he saw her shoveling fire embers into his wife's lap. It took her literally being ignited on fire, almost. I mean, she was severely burned. For him to take everything seriously, for him to be like, oh, well, maybe you do have a point. You think? So, as the story goes on, it was good. It was intricate. I like that Hannah, it got intricate with more, it was, of course, more meatier than what I'm able, with more of her stuff that she was doing. She was a very calculated kid. It was way more meatier and juicier in the book. It was so good. She was terrible. I like the ending. I like that she did not succeed in breaking up her parents. They ended up taking her finally to a facility. And of course she was miserable. But then she started speaking. Now she would talk, right, in secret. She would only say, like I said, she would only talk when she was doing that Marie Dufosette lady, and she would only do it in front of her mother, like driving her mother insane. But she would never say nothing to her father. She was completely mute with her father and only speaking in that stupid accent. Disgusting. But like I said, so when they sent her to the facility, she was able to get a little bit of help, but she was miserable. So I like the ending, because even though she didn't succeed in breaking up her parents, it was still left with a little bit of a cliffhanger. Because she was like, yeah, I'll pretend to be good for as long as it takes for me to get out of here and get back home, so I could get back to murdering my mother. What a ride. This book was hilarious, and it was good. It opened up a lot